What's up, everybody? This is Big Sarge back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining to you exactly what the infantry candidate or 11X MOS is, in case this is what you want to do if you decide to join the U.S. Army. So let's get into it. If you've been poking around Army career options, then you've probably seen the MOS code 11X pop up. And maybe you're scratching your head thinking to yourself, isn't that the infantry? Is that 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie? What's going on here? Well, you're not alone. The 11X MOS, this is one of the most common and most misunderstood job designations in the U.S. Army. But don't worry. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what it means, what to expect, and whether it's the right move for you. So let's go. First things first, what is 11X? Well, here's a simple definition. 11X, this is not a specific job. It's an enlistment option for the infantry field. So when you sign a contract under the 11X MOS, you're agreeing to become an infantry soldier, but you won't know your exact infantry job until you complete your training. And the two possible job outcomes for 11X are as follows. So you got 11 Bravo, which is the infantry, and this is what most people think of when you hear infantrymen. And then you have the 11 Charlie, and this is the indirect fire infantrymen, also known as the mortarmen. So in plain terms, 11X is the infantry candidate label. And once you're in training, the Army will decide whether you become 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie based on needs, your performance, and occasionally your preferences. All right, so exactly what is the difference between 11 Bravo and 11 Charlie? Well, let me go ahead and break it down. So 11 Bravo, this is the more well-known of the two, and its primary role is your ground combat. And these are the soldiers who close with and destroy the enemy by fire and maneuver. So think of foot patrols, raid, security, urban warfare, and all that stuff. You're going to be training with M4 carbines, M240 machine guns, M249 saws, grenades, AT4s, javelins, anti-tank systems, all types of stuff. When it comes to mobility, you're going to be on foot. You're going to be in Humvees, Strikers, helicopters. Basically, 11 Bravos, they go where the fight is. And the environment you're going to operate out of, you're going to be outside a lot. Rain, snow, desert, jungle, you name it, you're going to live it, you're going to fight in it, and you're going to sleep in it. Now, when it comes to the 11 Charlies, these are your indirect fire infantrymen. And once again, they are also known as the mortar guys. And their primary role is as follows. So they provide indirect fire support using mortars, and you're basically the artillery of the infantry. When it comes to weapons, mortars, they are your bread and butter, but you'll still train on and carry regular infantry weapons as well. When it comes to mobility, you're often mechanized because mortars are heavy and typically are carried in vehicles. So you might be assigned to a Stryker or Bradley unit. And the environment that you're going to operate out of is going to be more vehicle-based and position-oriented compared to 11 Bravos, but it's still physically demanding, but at a slightly different pace. Now, the bottom line is this. 11 Bravo is more direct action, while 11 Charlie, they provide crucial support from just behind the front lines. Both are combat jobs. Both are essential, and both are tough. Exactly why does the Army use the 11X designation instead of letting you pick 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie up front? Well, the Army's needs constantly change. So some years they need more 11 Bravos, other years they're short on 11 Charlies. And by having everyone enlist under the umbrella of 11X, it gives the Army flexibility to assign soldiers where they're needed most. But that being said, you can express a preference, and sometimes recruiters will say you're likely to get 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie, but nothing is guaranteed until after infantry one station unit training. And speaking of one station unit training, exactly what is this? So here's where the rubber meets the road. One station unit training is basically basic training and AIT combined into one long course. For 11X, it's about 22 weeks long. That's nearly 6 months of physically and mentally grueling training. And while you're there, you're going to learn about physical conditioning because you're going to be running a lot, doing a lot of ruck marches and strength training. You're going to be at the weapons range, dealing with M4s, grenades, and other crew-served weapons. There'll be a whole bunch of drill and ceremony activities. You're going to learn first aid and combat life-saving, hand-to-hand combat, which is known as modern Army combatives, battle drills where you're going to be conducting ambushes, raids, and reacting to combat. You're going to be on a lot of patrols and doing field training exercises. And of course, if you're on the 11 Charlie track, you're going to be doing mortar training. So basically, you're going to eat, sleep, and breathe infantry life. You'll learn to work as a team, follow orders, lead under pressure, and push yourself past limits that you didn't even know existed. Now, understand that it's going to be tough, but that is the whole point. The infantry doesn't need average, it wants elite soldiers. All right, so exactly what happens after you complete your training. So once you complete your training and you officially earn your 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie title, you're going to get orders to your first duty station. And this could be anywhere in the world. You could be sent to Fort Benning, Fort Campbell, Fort Carson, Fort Wainwright, Fort Bragg, Fort Hood, Germany, Italy, Korea, the desert, just all types of places. So once you get to your unit, you're going to be assigned to what is called a line unit, where you're going to become a part of the squad. You're going to begin real world training to prepare for missions and deployments. And so once you get there, you're no longer a trainee. You are a full blown infantry soldier. All right, so let's talk about the daily life of an 11 X-ray after you complete all your training. So your days will depend upon your unit, leadership, and whether you're deployed or stateside. But here's a taste of what you might do in a garrison environment or a non-deployed environment. So obviously it's going to be a whole bunch of PT at 0630 in the morning or earlier. You're also going to be cleaning a lot of weapons, doing a lot of inspections, and attending a lot of classes. It's going to be field training exercises galore that last for days or weeks. Ruck marches, obstacle courses, range days, maintenance on gear and vehicles, and deployment preparation or post-deployment resets. And when you find yourself deployed, the tempo is going to be different. You're going to be conducting real-world missions, whether in combat zones, peacekeeping roles, or deterrence operations. All right, so let's talk about some of the pros of becoming 11 X-ray. So let's go ahead and keep it real. The infantry is not for everyone, but it comes with some serious upsides. The first one is pride and brotherhood. So there's something different about infantry culture because it's built on grit, shared struggle, and loyalty. And you're going to bond with your platoon like it's your family. Then there's the physical and mental toughness. So you're going to be pushed to the edge and beyond. And by the end of your service, you'll be stronger than you ever thought possible. You're going to develop leadership skills. So infantry soldiers are often promoted faster due to high attrition and demanding roles. So you'll gain real leadership experience under fire. You're going to get some combat experience. So if your goal is to be a war fighter, then this is it, because infantry, they get the call when things get serious. There's also pathways to other elite units. So if you want to become a ranger, go airborne, air assault, special forces, then infantry, this is a natural pipeline into those paths. And then there's respect. So whether you're inside or outside the army, infantry soldiers command respect because people know that you've been tested. Now let's talk about some of the challenges of being 11 X-ray. So let's be honest, it's not all cool gear and Call of Duty moments. Being 11 X-ray is physically brutal. Your body's going to take a beating because you're going to be doing ruck marches, jumping out of vehicles, and spending endless time in the field, and injuries are common. It's mentally draining. You're going to miss holidays, family time, and comfort because field life is hard, and being away for months can take a toll. You're going to have limited job skills for civilian transition. So while infantry teaches leadership, fitness, and stress management, it's not a highly technical MOS. So you may need additional training to land civilian jobs. And there's a higher risk you're going to see combat. So let's not sugarcoat this. The infantry carries more risk. If war breaks out, 11 Bravos and 11 Charlies are often the first in line. All right, so who should consider becoming an 11 X-ray? So you might thrive in this MOS if you love physical challenges, you want to be tested mentally and physically, you're team-oriented, you don't mind getting dirty, wet, cold, and tired, you crave a job with meaning and purpose, you aspire to elite military units or special forces, and you want to serve your country on the front lines. But if you're looking for a tech-heavy office type of job or a cushy MOS with more free time and less field work, then you might want to explore other options. Now let's go over some frequently asked questions. So one of the questions people like to ask is, can they choose 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie at enlistment? Well, not usually, because most contracts are for 11 X-ray and you will be assigned 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie after you complete your training. Next question, is there a difference in promotion between 11 Bravo and 11 Charlie? Not really. Both are infantry. Promotions depend more on performance, PT scores, and availability of slots. Another question people ask is, will they see combat? Not necessarily. Now, this depends on your unit's mission and global events, but infantry is a combat arms, so it is always a possibility. Another question people ask is, can they switch MOSs later? Yes, you can, especially after your first enlistment, which is like 3 to 4 years. You can reclassify if you meet requirements. And then another question people ask is 11 X-ray good for someone who wants to go Ranger or Special Forces? Absolutely. This is a direct path to those elite units, and many Rangers, they start out as 11 Bravos. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. Are you built for the infantry? So choosing 11 X-ray isn't just picking a job. It's choosing a lifestyle, a very hard lifestyle, one that's filled with early mornings, sore backs, and long days in the dirt, but also one that's filled with honor, brotherhood, adrenaline, and purpose. So this MOS is for the doers, the gritty, the stubborn, and the ones who don't back down. And if that sounds like you, then the infantry might be your calling.